Hi everyone, for math today we are going to do just a tiny little bit of review and then I'll show you what the work is that I would like you to do today. We are on lesson 10.5 on page 293 and 294. Now we have been looking at graphs in this unit, and graphs are, to me, they're cool, they're interesting because they tell you all kinds of different information and they help you organize information as well. So we have looked at a couple of different graphs, but why are graphs? What kind of information do graphs have? Now the type of graph that we use is going to change sometimes depending on what type of information we're trying to show. So graphs always will give us information. The information could be words, or it could be numbers or symbols. And each graph could use both words and symbols or pictures. Some graphs will use just words. Some graphs will use just pictures. Some graphs will use symbols and numbers. It depends on the type of graph. So, real quick, let's take a look at some of the graphs that we've looked at so far. The first graph we looked at is called a Venn diagram. Now, a Venn diagram is when we compare two or more different things, and we're looking for how these things are the same, how they're similar, and how these things are different as well. So how they're the same and how they're different. Now, a Venn diagram has two different spots. Usually, sometimes it could be three or more, but it has at least two circles where they are overlapped in the middle. Now, if you think you see a Venn diagram and it's not overlapped in the middle, it's just two circles, it's not actually a Venn diagram. It's just two circles, right? A Venn diagram needs to be overlapped because that middle part is where we show how things are similar, how they're the same. That's why we use Venn diagrams. So that's why we need to see that part in a Venn diagram. Now, the other type of graph we've seen and that we're going to work on today is called a bar graph. Now, bar graphs are important. They help us organize information. Usually it uses some numbers and some words just a little bit to help us figure out what information we're trying to understand, right? So all graphs have a title. They're telling us what information it is we're looking at. But a bar graph also has titles on the side with the columns and the side with the rows. Normally, the side with the columns, the up and down, are numbers, and the side with the rows are like different options. So it could be different ice cream flavors. Today it could be different sea creatures. It could be even different sports that we like, right? And then the numbers going up and down tell us how many people decide in each one of those options, right? The other type of graph we looked at is a pictograph. Pictographs use pictures. Remember, pictograph is like picture graph. Now, a pictograph, the important information is that it's going to the important information a lot of the time is found in the key, which this one doesn't have. But if you look at an actual pictograph, pictograph it would. Usually, the key will tell you how many each symbol represents. So, a pictograph uses pictures or symbols to tell you information. Each one of these are different. Of course, they don't look the same, and they can be used for different things to tell us different information. Sometimes, different types of graphs can be used to tell us the same information as well, but a lot of the time, certain graphs are used for certain things, okay? Today, we're going to be taking a look at our bar graphs again. So what I would like you to do is open up to page 293. Page 293 is kind of an exciting one, I think, because there are different sea creatures there for you. What you need to do is cut out these sea creatures, and then we're going to organize the information on the graph that's here. So our title is In the Sea, which means we're looking at things that are in the sea, not outside of the sea. What you need to do here is, again, cut them out, and then you're going to organize them by what type of thing is in the sea. So if it's a plant, put it in this column, or row, sorry. If it's a fish, put it in this row. If it's a shell, put it in this one. And if it's a boat, put it in this one. Once you are done that, you can, and the glue is dry, you can turn the page. Now you've done something very similar to this with the flowers just the other day. What you're going to do is count each of the fish and then color each of the rectangles to make a bar graph. So this time the information is going this way. Anytime you see a swordfish, color in a square. A pufferfish, color in a square. A little tigerfish, I think, color in a square. And one of the purple fish, color in a square. Now, I want you to get a little bit creative and try and think of a title for yourself and write it on the line right above the graph. So, again, the title, it tells us what we are looking at. So, think of a title, write it on the line, get as creative as you would like, or not. That's up to you. But as soon as you are done that, you are done your work for today.